It is cold. It is cold. Even my knees hurt. It is cold.
All right. Ready to go? What time is it anyway?
10:59.
10:59.
I'm excited. Let's go, trainer. Let's go.
All right. How are we looking?
We're looking just as slow as this tile is being done.
So you can see it? I'm in the picture?
Just as slow as this tile is.
So as you can see, we decided to come to our normal house that was rendered unlivable after Hurricane Sally. So before we even start, apologize if the sound is echoey, but we're really excited to be in our house, just to say the least, right?
I told him I get really mad seeing the progress, how it takes an hour to put one tile. So they did like a half of this in one day and then the other half in the other day. So I imagine that on Monday they're gonna do that one piece, and then Tuesday half of this, and Wednesday half of that at the rate they're going.
Yeah, right?
Freaking slow asses.
At the end of the show, we will do a fantasy team and tennis racket giveaway update. A couple of people have been eliminated from competition, so make sure you stay tuned for that. If we do cut out, this is the first show we've done at our house in 4.5 months. Pardon the echo, by the way. I can hear myself echo. So the sound quality may be bad, so I'm sorry about that. But again, we're really happy to be here. If we do cut out, just hang tight. We'll try to resume the same show. If we cannot, we'll start a second one. Okay?
Okay.
Don't forget to like and subscribe when we do these random giveaways. As long as you're subscribed, you are in the thick of it. If we draw a name out of the hat, and hit the like button, that's always nice as well. All right? All right, ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's go. All right, topic number 1. Can we be heard okay, though? Because I feel like I'm echoing so loud. Is it okay?
Yeah.
All right, topic number 1. Carla and I yesterday, we brought up a topic about Novak Djokovic yelling to his camp during the match, and he was yelling towards Goran Ivanisevic, one of his coaches. And Carla got into a conversation with Stefan Nizovic yesterday evening, and he's in Serbia, by the way. And I felt like it was a really good idea to bring that topic up again, just for a small period. And let kind of Stefan's take, being Serbian, kind of come into the conversation. So Carla, can you play that video one time, or maybe let it go just 2 times so everyone can see it?
Sure, I get a kick out of it. I mean, every time I see this video, I laugh. I just can't stop laughing, even his eyes. All right, let me get up. There we go. Let's zoom out of this. Let's put it, here we go. And put the volume on.
Okay.
Oh, let's do it again because it's hilarious. I will never forget it. And play. Let's go, China. Let's go. He's only a number 1. He's only a number 1.
So we played the video again. Now.
And his eyes are like popped out.
Yeah.
He's like, and the guy's talking behind him.
Exactly. All right, Carla.
Oh, man, sorry.
So on a serious note, why was this comment so geopolitically implicated in a sense? So Goran Ivanisevic is Croatian, and Djokovic is Serbian. And after this kind of exchange surfaced in the international kind of media, and not just in the Western media, a lot of the Croatians were upset at Novak Djokovic and the Serbians because of the way because the echo is too tough. So a lot of the Croatians were upset that that Novak Djokovic spoke to Goran Ivanisevic that way. So explain a little
And
bit.
here's the article for some of you that are maybe starving, you understand it. There's the article that, that was on Croatian newspaper. So, see, right there.
So look, the moral of the story is this. Never pass up an opportunity to keep your mouth shut because sometimes little dialogues like this that are in the heat of battle can have geopolitical implications, right?
Let's go, trainer. Let's go.
So let me ask everybody a question though. Why would a 17-time Grand Slam major champion need to be even shouting to his box anyway, much less Goran Ivanisevic? What, Goran won one major? Didn't he win one Wimbledon?
One Wimbledon.
He won one
He
Wimbledon?
was a wild card too when he won it.
Yeah.
So no one expected him to do anything. He was at the end of his career pretty much.
Yeah. Now we were told that Novak Djokovic does have a way of kind of demeaning some of his coaches. I think Stefan Nizovic told us that.
No, that was somebody else.
Somebody else.
I won't say your name, but you're around there right now. You said that he made Boris Becker carry his bags.
Yeah.
And then you said probably because both coaches are bankrupt. We know Boris Becker bankrupt. Goran Ivanisevic needs the money. So you allow these players to talk to you and treat you like dogs. I mean, look at Medvedev treating his coach like a dog. I mean, my dad said, what are these coaches? They look pitiful. They look like children, like slaves.
Yeah, it's definitely the wrong look. Medvedev told his coach last night to get out of the box, right? Get out of here, let me play, I think it was. We'll talk about that. We have been definitely watching a lot of players over the years yell at their box, and it's just really a bad look. And in this situation, the number one player in the world did it, and just as trivial as the statement is, he pissed off a whole country, right?
Yeah, he did.
Anyway, last question on this topic. Is Goran Ivanisevic an accomplished coach?
No, he's not an accomplished coach.
So why is it that Djokovic would yell at a non-accomplished coach? Is it just because he psychologically thinks he can?
I think so. Well, I think he was frustrated because if the translation, I had Stefan translated. There were other Serbian viewers who translated what he was saying. He was waiting for that trainer. He had called that trainer, and it took forever. That's what was going on. He was upset about it. So, I don't think he's an accomplished coach. Djokovic is Djokovic. The coach that we should be giving credit to is Vajda.
Vajda.
Yeah.
I think Goran is there just to have someone to yell at because Djokovic surely knows he's not going to yell at Vajda. I think Vajda would probably beat him down with a bat, right?
Yeah, he wouldn't take that from him. You see the guy sitting there all serious, He doesn't even smile. He's like...
Exactly. Vajda don't play.
I will destroy you. Don't you dare.
Vajda should get the Coach of the Decade award, by the way, because that guy, Vajda, he don't play.
He don't play. I agree with your statement, Wayne. A human being always pick up very fast and who can they can dominate. Exactly. Absolutely. It's like my kids. Stop doing that. Don't do this. Can you behave? He comes in, they stop. It's like, it's like my dad too. My dad would give me this look and I knew I was dead meat.
Exactly.
I respected him. So yeah, we do pick it up. We can tell who we can control and who we can't.
Exactly.
You can tell early on.
Exactly. All right. Changing gears. Carla just mentioned her dad. I've mentioned my dad quite a few times on this show. My father is 82 years young, I like to say. He's still in good shape. He still plays the game. He's still active in the show. He is a retired physician as well. He was a flight surgeon in the Navy and retired into private practice. And we've been doing this show about 2.5, 3 years. And for quite some time, I would read a nugget that he wrote. And I kind of got out of that because time is always kind of a thing. There's not a lot of matches that are overwhelmingly important to talk about. We're fixing to get there. But I wanted to take a minute and read something my dad wrote to everybody, to all the subscribers, to all the viewers and so forth, that I thought it was a good message. Understand my father, again, physician, longtime coach. I was born into the game. He was already a coach. I started going to USPTA coaching seminars at the age 8 or 9. So I wanted to read a quick text message for all of you, not for us, that he wrote. Got it?
Yep, I hear you. Go.
All right. So this is from my dad, coach, player, and big channel supporter to you. All right. Dear friends and family out there, and we regard all of our subscribers as viewers and family. We'd like to digress a minute and share with you what we regard as an important message. And really, it's nothing more than a reiteration of what our mothers and fathers have told us all before. Namely, that we are what we eat and drink and inhale and apply to our skin, because of course, what we apply to our skin is absorbed through our skin. Now we know in saying these things, we're in large part only preaching to the choir, because most of you all are probably at least as savvy about matters of health as we are, and very likely even more so. Still though, tennis to us isn't just a sport. It's also a lifestyle, a pathway to staying healthy and fit and living this incredible life to its fullest. And so we can't but help to be a little concerned when we hear and read all the reports these days about an increasing incidence and prevalence of lifestyle-related illnesses and disabilities. Dear friends, dear extended family out there, insofar as your busy schedules permit, please keep good health practices among you and among your top priorities. Of course, we wish you all good tennis. Most of all, however, we earnestly wish you all good health and happiness. Thank you all for your wonderful spirit and for your kind consideration. Fair enough?
Yep.
All right. From my dad to you. All right. Next topic. Ready to go?
Next topic.
On yesterday's show, Carla, after the show, got into another conversation with another Serbian viewer.
I never stopped. It was like tennis all day. It rained, so I couldn't work out. I did mop all the floors downstairs at the church, but it was just tennis. So it was better talking to them than watching the women's match last night. Women's match was horrendous.
Yeah, and again, we'll get to those shortly.
Philip said, I agree with your dad 100%.
Who did?
Philip.
Nice. Philip.
Guillaume.
All right, got you. He's the neurosurgeon in New York.
Mm-hmm.
All right, on yesterday's show, afterwards, Carla was talking with another viewer from Serbia, and the both of them were laughing that how badly they were laughing.
Hi, Lori. What's up, Lori? She's watching. I hope you're getting better. She's one of our students.
Yeah, hope to see you on the court again.
Yeah.
So Carla's second interaction with another Serbian viewer yesterday at length, they were both laughing once she realized what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
How bad Novak Djokovic will talk to people in his language knowing that they don't know what he's saying. So he'll be saying something and then the person will be sitting there kind of smiling like, yeah. But yet he's like calling them really bad names. So it was really quite comical. But my thought here when you guys were laughing about this, is that something new, Carla?
No.
Can anybody name a major sporting event or a sporting athlete that may speak multiple languages or has a different indigenous language and has totally gone off on someone in that language, and in the meantime, the person receiving that's oblivious to the absolute just beat down verbally is just smiling about it because they can't understand it?
Yeah.
It's nothing new. People do this all the time. It happens in the NBA. It happens in the NFL.
I hear it in college, like the Spanish players, they know the Americans don't understand, so they're saying stuff.
Yeah.
So I've seen that happen. My dad's done it in many matches where we've laughed because he's cursing in Spanish.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he didn't mind his saying his name. It's Stefan, the tall basketball Serbian. He was telling me that Shapovalov was playing a match against Djokovic, right? And Shapovalov, we all know how he loves to like scream and stuff like that. And he had no clue what Novak Djokovic said. And okay. Yeah, see that way I can find the message real quick.
I mean, while you're finding that, it's nothing new. I think it was comical that who you were speaking with thought it was, so funny, and it is, but it's very common.
Well, he says, I think Shapovalov would not talk to Novak if he knew what Novak said to him on the ATP Cup. Shapo was fist pumping and screaming when he would win a point, and there was a lot of Serbians in the crowd, and Novak saw it as a showing off in front of his crowd. He said, you want to show off in front of my people? Now I'm going to make you and a couple more things.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Shapovalov's just, carrying on. He doesn't realize that he just got dissed really badly.
Yeah, and then he sends me a video of when he played Murray in 2011, and then he beats Murray. It was a tough match. And he says after, he didn't understand. Murray had no clue. You think you are stronger than me? Well, you are not. And starts swearing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
This guy's just barbaric.
So you gotta love him for it though. So people probably think we're bashing him once again. We're not. I'm a big fan, by the way. I really am. And he never ceases to stop the entertainment. A lot of people take it the wrong way, but he's just in the moment and he's just doing his thing. So I have fun with it either way.
I thought it was funny. I could not stop laughing.
All right. Last thing before we get into matches. Yesterday, Carla and I were watching Paul Annacone, as you all know. If you don't know who Paul Annacone is, Paul Annacone is a great coach. He's former coach of Roger Federer and a lot of other players. But during the matches last night, Paul Annacone was doing an interview of Emilio Sanchez. That is a Spanish Davis Cup team captain.
Arancha Sanchez's brother.
That helped to win the 2008 Spanish Davis Cup title. But Annacone on the Tennis Channel was asking Emilio Sanchez a question about Rafael Nadal, and I thought his response to that was really good. So Paul Annacone asked Emilio Sanchez, what makes Rafael Nadal? Mm-hmm. Okay, just a fairly common question, but I liked his answer to it. So Emilio Sanchez responded by saying this: Rafael Nadal, he is like an animal that hunts. And then he hunts that animal down, and keeps hunting them until that animal finally tires, and then he capitalizes, right? Who are some animals that follow a smaller animal around the woods just for hours and hours, and then finally when they just have to get some rest, they just eat the animal? There's a lot of them out there that do that. Do you agree or disagree with this? And do you think this is a negative type of characteristic to have a long a long duration of your tennis career, not including Rafael Nadal? The tactic of being the hunter and wearing someone down over time and then finally capitalizing on it instead of doing it early is really bad on the body. I think it's a bad tactic for someone that wants to play for 15 years if you are not Rafael Nadal. Mm-hmm. Rafael Nadal, he does it and does it.
He does do it, but I think it's a lot of wear and tear in the
body. A lot of wear and tear.
You're hitting a lot of balls, running back and forth. I don't think I'd want to play that style at all. I would not recommend any junior out there to play the way he does. We watched it a lot in women's tennis, and which is so, it's a coin toss with women who's going to win, because we watch this a lot,
Yeah,
it's tough to do.
And we'll talk about that as well.
Mm-hmm. Good knowledge, Alex Couillard, he said Emilio Sanchez won a mixed doubles Grand Slam with Martina Navratilova.
Good knowledge drop, didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go ahead and start tossing in some of the matches.
Yeah.
But I still have a lot more to talk about that really aren't about the matches. But
should we start with the women's boring matches? They're all boring, by the way.
Let's let them start with men's or women's.
They're talking a lot about these injuries. They're talking about the abdominal injuries, Berrettini. They're talking about Medvedev, also with the same thing. We've seen Djokovic. We don't know if Djokovic is playing. We still don't know.
We haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
The old saying, no news is good news,
mm-hmm.
I think is applicable here.
Well, we'll find out soon. He had an ultrasound done, so I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good medical team.
Loving Carla's trainer, Sasha and Andre should try them. Would do great with their new Aussie tans.
There you go. All right, so why don't we do this?
Okay.
Why don't we just start with the men's?
Let's start with the
only
men's.
Because I had it here.
He says, I have some news. Okay, Gene, what's the news? What's your news?
While he's typing that, let's plod through the matches.
Rublev, first match?
Yeah, Rublev versus Lopez. Is anybody shocked?
No, we all said it. He would go through. Good for Lopez for making it that far.
The better player won. Now the better player, if it was 15, 20 years ago, Rublev was still a young lad then.
You know what my son said, Christopher? I showed him the Rublev picture with the cat.
Yeah.
And he said, I almost thought that was Alexander Zverev.
I don't see it.
He said Zverev's just as pale as him.
Yeah, but the height's different, the look's
But
different.
no, but he said the same hair, the same style.
I disagree there. One's blonde, one's like auburn, one has longer hair, and Zverev's has gotten shorter now. So yeah, he's out on his up to date. Does anybody think Zverev looks like Rublev? Totally different.
No, the
person.
same hair, like with the
No, even the hair is way different.
Okay.
All right. Look, the better player won. The player that was supposed to win won. Casper Ruud against Albot.
4 sets.
You know, hey, great. But I think Casper Ruud is to Albot as Albot is to Casper Ruud. Coin toss. You know, I think, does anybody disagree or agree that Ruud is not terribly much better than Albot or vice versa? And again, I think if this match happened again, it's still a toss-up, right? Mm-hmm. Disagree or agree?
Yeah, Rublev will win that match for sure.
Next match that went down.
McDonald.
Mackenzie McDonald beats Lloyd Harris, the South African.
Good for him.
Good for Mackenzie McDonald.
Definitely.
Just like Ruud and Albot, right? Mm-hmm. They are similar in terms at the level that they play. But Harris and McDonald, you know, they're kind of the same type level player. This was a coin toss match. Both of them.
Good for the American.
Both of them are going to be very lucky, or very lucky to be in the 4th round. But Medvedev is going to absolutely trounce McDonald. I don't think that was close.
UCLA men's tennis.
I agree.
I was like, go US, yeah.
I agree, and I think Alex is in. Is he in Southern California or Texas? I don't recall.
He's in Texas. We've sent him several things. He got our hat with our signature.
All right, enough about that match. Krajinovic against Medvedev. Big shout out to Krajinovic, the Serbian player who took Medvedev to 5 sets after Medvedev won the first 2. Most players at this level will go away. He did not go away.
I turned off the TV after 2 sets. I think Wildlife said I was sure would not want to be playing Medvedev. He was, just cruising along, just like Medvedev. He was too much for Krajinovic. But then all of a sudden, I wake up. I had to look at highlights. I'm like, what happened?
Let's go.
What happened? That he went to 5 sets. I saw Krajinovic got a code violation for not wearing his mask. And he tells the umpire, I didn't know, that I had to wear my mask to go to the bathroom. And then this guy's yelling at his coach.
Medvedev,
yelling at his coach in French. So I have this picture here.
Yeah, so an interesting match there. Krajinovic went to the restroom and he didn't remember to wear his mask or face covering. When he got back on the court, he was given a point violation, wasn't he?
Yes, he was given a code violation.
A code violation, yeah. So a code violation for not wearing his mask, and he's like, dude, I didn't think about that, really? So I thought that was a pretty bad look too.
What is this with these guys, man? Look at the way they yell. Do you guys yell at your women like that? Because if you can yell at a coach like that, who is nobody to you, you can definitely yell at somebody that's important to you.
Look, if you can yell at your coach like that, is your job as a coach to get paid? Or is your job description someone to get yelled at? Is your job description, I gotta be a bitch to my player? Because I'll tell you what, the people if I had a student, I don't care what the hell level you're on, if I have a student yelling at me like that, I'm gonna say, yo, I'm on the first flight out, good luck, see ya. And hopefully I was smart enough to sign a contract, because a lot of these coaches are not smart enough to kind of sign a contract, and they get fired and they're left with nothing and trying to find a way to get home. I'd make sure I had a contract, and I'd put in that contract, you talk down on me, I'm out, and you're still gonna pay me. I wouldn't tolerate that crap, would you? So
Alex says, I feel like the men get upset, it's fine, but when the women does, it's totally wrong.
Sexist, there you go,
exactly.
Good point.
Wayne Chia said, no wonder Daniel is joining us on today's show. He should be ashamed of himself.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Daniel? What happened to you?
I'm glad to see you're here. He's a really good viewer and has a lot of good stuff to say. I like his name. But can anyone out there tell me, as a man or a woman, are you just going to sit there and lap up someone else and generally younger than you dissing you on national television? Man, I would get if I'm the coach, I would get the ESPN highlight reels of being the coach that finally stood up for himself. I'd be like, screw you, here's the bird, I'm out, see ya, I'd be gone.
You sent me 2 messages, Gene. Something about a player. I think Wayne Chia sent me something about this, about someone testing positive. He was a great player.
Yeah.
And now that could be, Sissy Paws was right next to him.
Yeah, the topic that Gene, and we saw quite a bit of this earlier today. There was a player that left Melbourne for another tournament elsewhere. The player tested negative for COVID-19 when he left Australia, but he got to where he was going and he tested positive and relayed that information back to the Australian Open. From what we have read about that the player more than likely contacted that changing planes in Doha, which is in the Middle East, or at his location where he is at now. Now, when we started the show, it was still very early in the morning in Australia. So I'm sure as the day progresses there, we'll hear more about that. But from what I've read now, I don't think it's a problem.
Verbalak is his name, and he sends in his Twitter, which Gene sent to me. Hi, everyone. After a 24-hour travel day from Australia to South Africa, I've been diagnosed positive to COVID-19. I am completely asymptomatic at the moment and will have to quarantine in an isolation facility in Potchefstroom. I am not a person that complains, but I feel that I need to express my disappointment with the conditions we are in.
Is what it is. You know, what are you to do? Just wait and find out what happens. You know, I think in the world in which we live in with social media and everything else, you know, one little thing happens, someone puts it out there and the whole world goes into a standstill. Let's just take it with a grain of salt and let's move forward. I think by the looks of it, that everything will move forward okay.
Well, Wayne Chia said if this is Singapore, Tsitsipas would be isolated.
Good point. And Wayne Chia, by the way, I don't want to speak for him. He's out there. He's like a family friend. He's involved in our household every single day. But Wayne Chia himself had to be quarantined. Mm-hmm. I don't know the ins and outs of that, but I know Wayne Chia went through that.
14 days, yeah, at a hotel. I can't remember where you were, Malaysia or something like that.
Yeah. All right, back to the men's draw, because again, last night was lackluster, so let's push through this because there's a lot to talk about on the women's side, and not just the matches, but some things from a coaching standpoint and tactics and just good conversation.
Why did Medvedev allow Krajinovic to get back into the match, though? I'm just curious from you guys. I only got to watch them step on those tiles. I'm just curious. I didn't get to watch how, you know, what happened in his head. I mean, I know he was frustrated telling his coach, let me play. Can you guys tell me what happened in that match? Because when I left, I mean, Medvedev was just too much. His flat shots were too much for Krajinovic, so I'm just curious. So let's see. First, there is an ATP tournament going in Singapore. Yep, let's go back. So Medvedev is a nice guy until he starts losing. Okay, we know that. So no thing. Okay, so Wayne Chia is talking about the quarantine still. He said, although he was tested negative just before leaving Melbourne, it's possible that he already had the virus, but the virus may not have manifested itself. It takes time to incubate. I returned from Malaysia and had to quarantine for 14 days, even though I tested negative upon touching down.
So someone made a statement just then that Medvedev gets pissed only when he's down. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's look at the ante that. Just 2 days ago, Dominic Thiem was down 2 sets to Nick Kyrgios. Mm-hmm. Thiem stayed focused. He plodded along. He believed in himself. He believed in his fitness, and he never yelled at his box. Mm-hmm. I would love to see more of Thiem's attitude and Medvedev's attitude. And by the way, looking back at the Thiem-Kyrgios match and the cool, calm, and collected mindset that Thiem held throughout playing the clown himself, right? His ability to stay composed was excellent. With that said, I have an odd statement to make. I think Thiem is now the favorite, in my opinion, to win this tournament. Now, Vegas, on the other hand, Vegas odds have Medvedev now as the favorite.
Yeah, that's what I heard John McEnroe. John McEnroe kisses a lot of ass, by the way. Man, Medvedev's going to be I pick him. I'm like, shut up.
Man, McEnroe,
shut up, dude.
McEnroe used to go on and on and on and on and on about saying Borna Coric would win 10 majors and would be the next #1 in the world. So I don't think you can take too much credibility from John McEnroe. Great player, a true asshole on the court, one of the worst court conducts I've ever seen or been around. I've seen him play personally as a boy in California. A true dipshit to other human beings. And if you go and read his book or his wife or his ex-wife's old book, party animal, womanizer, big time, I won't get into that. But John McEnroe is a party boy. So I don't think, I think the Tennis Channel keeps him because, you know, everybody knows who he is and he can just talk out of his butt. But I don't think he has any type of credibility moving forward because everything he says is just like a joke, it seems like.
I don't know. William Spencer says about, you know, the players maybe feeling, he said maybe seeing Novak's issue has piled the pressure on his rivals as they think they have a far bigger shot at the title. So they're feeling the pressure knowing that Novak's hurt.
All right, so let's assume Rublev and Medvedev, and we said this when we did our draw breakdown, right? We said before the match, the tournament even started, that Rublev and Medvedev would face off in the quarterfinals. It looks to be a certainty. It's not over yet, but it looks to be a certainty. Who wins that match?
Who?
Between Rublev and Medvedev, if it happens.
Last time Medvedev got him, and always it seems like Medvedev beats him.
I
so I'm gonna go with Rublev this time. I said that yesterday.
One of those coin toss things in a way, but I don't think so. I think the higher percentage chance of winning is Medvedev.
I'm gonna give it to Rublev. I watched Medvedev play those first two sets, and he hits so flat. There's like no spin on his shots. I think you need to like make the guy hit shots up here and not keep it so low on him so he can't hit it flat.
Yeah.
A flat hitter, if you keep feeding to their, you know, the strike zone, they keep hitting flat. So you've got to, this is why Tiem would give him trouble, because that ball that he puts spin, Nadal, he puts a lot of spin. You can't hit flat from up here. Flat is here, not up here.
Yes, and you can bring the slice into who is the best backhand slicer ever to walk this earth, male or female, that kept the slice so low, it was really hard to get your racket on it in terms of top spin. Steffi Graf.
Steffi Graf. Henin had beautiful two slice.
Yeah.
Barty did that. I saw a trick around her opponent. She went around the net post with her slice.
Keeping the slice low, keeping the ball low off the bounce is a really...
Navratilova, good one.
Yeah, it's a really difficult ball to play because if we hit top spin, picture this. So my palm does the same thing as my racket strings. Let's say my hand here is the flat part of the surface, right? Mm-hmm. So if the ball stays low, I can't get my head of my racket to the ground and then pronate under and then over because the bottom of my racket head will hit the ground. So it's hard to hit topspin there. Mm-hmm. So players that don't have a really good slice or a good defensive posture, they'll get that low ball and they'll end up hitting it flat or trying to hit topspin, and they'll shank or miss the return ball off of their opponent's slice. Mm-hmm. If you keep the slice low, you gotta slice it back, and if you don't have a slice, you're in trouble. Steffi Graf is great at that.
Well, Medvedev's gonna face Mackenzie McDonald, and I think he'll go through.
Destruction.
Yeah, destruction. So it's gonna be Rublev and Medvedev meeting in the quarterfinals for sure.
All right,
next match.
Tsitsipas and Yimmer.
We do 4-1-1.
Yeah.
6-4, 6-1.
A walk in the park. Good job for Yimmer, by the way. Yimmer, the Swedish player. I love his court conduct. I have never, and I may be wrong, but I've never seen him bitch, moan, or complain. I may be wrong here again, but I've never seen him break a racket, and I've seen this guy play a lot. I don't hear him grunt. He's not a grunter. Mm-hmm. So good for him. Unfortunately, the better player won, right?
Yeah.
All right. Tsitsipas will next face Berrettini. That took down, as Carla says, the ex-Thor. Carla used to call Khachanov or Khachanov Thor, but she says he lost his...
He lost his touch.
What is it called? A superhero?
Yeah.
So Thor lost his superhero status, and now he's just ex-Thor and Khachanov again.
Yes, exactly.
Khachanov was beaten by Berrettini.
6-6, so it all went to tiebreakers.
Big servers.
But they say Berrettini, I didn't watch that match, hurt himself, abdominal injury.
We'll see what goes into that. But do you think that Berrettini with a healthy abdomen or a not healthy abdomen is any different of outcome playing Tsitsipas?
No.
You think Tsitsipas is going to win 3, maybe 4 sets?
4 sets. Okay. I didn't know this. Thanks for the info. Wayne Chia says Edward donated some money to Ymer to help him in his career.
Oh, Yimmer.
Yimmer.
That's a great knowledge drop.
Isn't it Ymer?
Yimmer. Who said that?
Wayne Chia.
Wayne Chia, I'm telling you, his knowledge goes deep.
You know, some of these guys, I noticed a lot of you guys that know a lot about tennis don't even hit a ball. Like, you guys do your research. Bravo to you guys. Because that's,
you know, and oddly enough.
That means you love tennis.
And oddly enough, we've grown up in the game. We've played it our entire lives. We've coached for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And they run circles around us.
They run a circle around us.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
Goes to
Every
show
time I'm talking to them, like, really? where'd you get that info? Really? Everybody I talked to, I'm like, really?
Yeah, look at Michael Walker in New York, right?
Yeah, well,
Michael,
he said he played at Port Washington, which is up by Staten Island. No, it's not Staten Island. Long Island, closer to Long Island.
yeah.
I think. I don't remember, Philip, if you're still out there. I think I played a few tournaments up there.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, Michael Walker, Wayne Chia, Stefan, Sergio, I mean, the list goes on. There's hundreds of people in our subscribers. Again, we don't go out and ask people to subscribe, so they just come naturally. So usually all those people are really, really intelligent up here. Anyway, all right.
Hello, Alex Obed. He said, hello from Florida, everyone. What part of Florida? I've lived in North Lauderdale, Fort Lauderdale,
Miami?
West Palm Beach, North Miami, South Miami, Orlando, Panama City. Where do you live?
Yeah. Been in Bradenton.
Fort Lauderdale. Okay,
There
awesome.
you go.
I used to go to Fort Lauderdale. I don't know if you know Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. That's where I
Oh, you
went.
did go to Marjorie Stoneman Douglas.
Yeah.
You played tennis there.
Yep. He said, I started watching when Jimmy Connors and McEnroe were playing as a kid. I was entranced right away. Good for you.
Talk about some epic court conduct spasm in those matches. If you go to, I'm sure on YouTube, I wasn't prepared for this, but if you go and find some vintage Connors and McEnroe matches, a couple of them as a boy I had the opportunity to be. But wow, talk about attitude, talk about just absolutely belittling umpires. You think Medvedev and Djokovic and all these guys are bad? Go watch Connors and McEnroe.
Yeah. Wayne Chia said he started with Steffi, Everett, and Martina. I know while I started watching with Federer. He said he knew nothing about tennis, and that's what hooked him.
Federer hooked him?
Yeah.
That's a common, Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer, the three of them are very good at hooking people into watching tennis. We have met, man, that wind just got crazy out there. We have met numerous people from even Serbia that said they didn't even care or know really too much about tennis until Novak Djokovic. Victor Troicki didn't do it, Anna Ivanovic didn't do it. Now Anna Ivanovic, to me, wow.
She's beautiful.
Anna Ivanovic, to me, is one of my favorite tennis players of all time. Now, I say favorite. I'm not saying greatest. I'm saying
she could have done so much more.
So beautiful.
She could have done a lot more.
She won her major. Anna Ivanovic, to me, is one of the most attractive, saying that positively, one of the most attractive young ladies. Naturally. I think that's ever lived. I think my father would say stuff like, Elizabeth Taylor or Vivian Lee. I'm going Anna Ivanovic.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
So I'm just reading some of it because, it's good to know how these viewers got into tennis. Jean said with Djokovic, Wawrinka Tsonga. Alex Couillard said, I started watching with Serena Venus in 2011. Serena Venus brought a lot of people into tennis. They did a lot of stuff for tennis.
Yeah.
They should be thankful to the Williams sisters. Thanks to them, a lot of people started playing.
What is that noise? We'll have to talk louder.
Yeah, I'm sure they can hear us. Jack Nolte said, I started with Roger Venus and Serena. And then Yinghouse says, started January 1999 when Thomas Enquist made the Aussie Open final. I remember him, yes.
There you go.
Jesus says, Team Anna Ivanovic.
Yeah, look, for me, I was born into it. When I was born, I was attending matches with my mother and father. My sister's 4 years older than me, and my sister was quite the junior tennis player. My sister would travel coast to coast playing and expected to win tournaments. She got to college, and that kind of changed a little bit. But for me, it was everything. Ilie Nastase, Björn Borg, John McEnroe, then Stefan Edberg. But at the same time, my dad still had 8mm films, beta films, VHS films on players that go way back in the day. Bill Tilden, Don Budge, Lacoste, the Four Horsemen, the whole French system. So all of those were important to me growing up.
Mondo asks, was yelling at coaches things in the 70s, 80s, and 90s?
Well, I think what's changed that is the modern day camera, the live camera. Hey, there's 27 cameras around the court. This camera can track the audience on this side and this player and there. Surely it was there, but I don't think it was easily exposed to the media. I mean, back in the day when we had our little TVs, UHF, you turn it 3, 5, 10, get the rabbit ears and try to get it right, and all of a sudden you got it. There was generally only one camera right in the middle of the court, and if it was the player on the other side of the court, they were little, and then the player on this side of the court was bigger. Can't forget some of the Gabriella Sabatini and Steffi Graf rivalries, right? So Steffi Graf and Gabriella Sabatini were two of the players growing up that we were really, really fond of. We named our fourth of 5 children after Gabriella Sabatini, so Gabriella is named after her. Anyway, all right, moving forward. Berrettini will play Tsitsipas. We're going with Tsitsipas. Next up, Fabio, the silky smooth Italian, really asshole-ish Fognini, took out Di Minor, which upset me because now I think I'm pretty much out of the fantasy team competition.
Can you believe that? You know, here's this guy. Remember we told you that no crowd would affect this guy. It did.
And it did.
It did affect him. He had no crowd. Australia would have been in Fognini's face in this match.
Yeah.
They would have been shouting against him.
Exactly.
But he won the match in straight sets. My dad was watching the match. He said his shots were very compact, unlike Di Minor's. He beat him. I mean, shocking.
And your dad, her father, also player, coach, and so forth. We were both raised into the game. Her father called us early this morning and mentioned that Fognini accredits him for winning this match because his shots were more compact. His stroke was more compact. Why is this so important to have a compact shot on this particular U.S. Open? Because the court's playing fast. Mm-hmm. If you have a big stroke and you're playing on a fast court, a lot of times we get to the ball or meet it late. Right? Yeah. And we end up missing the ball wide on the forehand side, and we end up missing the ball wide on the backhand side. Late equals unforced errors. The more compact the stroke, hey, we can get up there a little bit late with the feet, but if we're compact, we can kind of make up for that.
That's faster at you, too.
Exactly. So,
it means less reaction.
Who is another player still in this men's draw that has a very big wind-up and cranking ball? Medvedev.
Nadal. Even Nadal with his loopy shots. Still,
yeah.
It's a lot to take back. Berrettini, too, his forehand is.
Yeah, they got they have the big, they set up big
on his backhand. Tsitsipas on his backhand is big and loopy as well.
Yeah, so think about it. If an object is moving fast through a surface, and I'm a player and I can move relatively well, but when I get to the ball as the goal to catch it at its climax, at its apex, as its zenith, and not to let that ball drop, so to catch it here and not down here, I must be able to get to it and meet it out in front at the point of impact every time, right? Or a C average would be great, 70-75% of the time. But when you have the big shot like Tiafoe, like Medvedev, like Berrettini, the list goes on. These big looping, big cranking balls, when the surface is faster, the big cranking ball comes back, here comes the ball, and they either meet it late.
Which is why we see a lot of these shots here.
They're meeting it late, they're trying to get the spin on it, and they follow through here. Anyway, Fognini won the match because of that last night, and yes, because there was no crowd. Fognini had a compact shot last night.
I thought he would be tired.
I thought he would too.
I don't think Rafa has anything to worry about though, so I disagree with some of you.
Yeah, good job for Nori for being in the third round, but I don't think there's any need to really break down the Nadal match. Nadal won. I do think Nadal will comfortably go through Fognini.
I think so too.
I do think Tsitsipas will beat Berrettini, but wouldn't be surprised if Berrettini beats Tsitsipas. But Nadal will play one of the two. Medvedev and Rublev will play one another, and it is a coin toss who, in my opinion, meets Nadal in that semifinal. But I'm guessing at this point now, though, Nadal does go to the final. I think it's pretty straightforward. His draw has been relatively. I don't believe in it.
Yes, it's opened up tremendously.
I don't believe in an easy draw. These are all pro tennis players, but his draw has been relatively smooth sailing. Let's just say that. Men's side matches tonight. Djokovic, Raonic. Who you got? Don't forget the abdominal strain.
If Djokovic is fine, Djokovic.
I'm still taking Djokovic whether he's fine or not. He's just that much better than Raonic. Mm-hmm. Lajovic and Zverev. Upset alert, I'm taking Lajovic to win outright.
I hope Puppy Hater goes down.
Puppy Hater, Casper the mean ghost goes down. Let's go Lajovic.
Casper the rude, someone said, the rude.
Yeah, I would love to see Djokovic and Lajovic pair up in the quarterfinals. That would be absolutely amazing. Thiem and Dimitrov, Dimitrov.
They've said the head-to-head. I've been reading a lot of comments. Dimitrov was up 3-0 on hardcourt.
Oh.
But I think this is a different Thiem. He's won a slam. It's different Thiem. We balled Dimitrov against Tiem with the frost tips.
Yeah.
Let's go with
yeah. Okay. TM's nickname for me with the frosted tips is Sub-Zero. Like,
Sub-Zero.
like
Okay, so he's no longer Splinter.
He's Master Splinter. He looks like the Ninja Turtle Master Splinter. But Sub-Zero with the frosted tips, I used to play a lot of Mortal Kombat when I was a kid. My dog is named Katana.
I could see that.
Katana used to drop from the sky, and Sub-Zero with the frosted tips, you know?
Yeah.
All right, so Sub-Zero or Master Splinter will take out Dimitrov. Felix, Auger, Eliasim, and Karatsev. This match I want to see badly.
Me too.
Badly. This is the match I want to see more than any of them. Why?
Same.
Because you have the late bloomer Karatsev, who has been just dominating people, and then you have the young and upcoming Felix.
Yeah.
But they're both up and coming.
Who took care of business with his friend Chapo?
Yeah, they're both up and coming, but one's older and one's younger. Excellent
Someone
storyline.
said Mortal Kombat. Let's go.
Up, down, left, right, B, A, start. If anybody can tell me with that original Nintendo game gave you a whole bunch of men, up, down, left, right, B, A, start, I'll be impressed.
Watch some people Google it.
and by the way, I wasn't a big video game player. I was a tennis player and played tennis every day, all day. But sometimes when we got
Tyson?
Contra.
Contra.
If you started with up, down, left, right, BA start, you get 30 men and you can get through the game. Mike Tyson's punch out, I was an expert, but Mike Tyson, he used to beat me all the time until I figured out that he would wink his left eye, and when he winked his left eye, he would hit you with the right, and then when he winked his right eye, he would hit you with the left. So as long as you watched the wink and then dodged it, you'd be okay.
These games.
Let's go.
Now you have cheat codes.
All right, moving forward.
I wrote here, women's matches were a disaster last night.
Let's go.
Slinovita and Putin-Seva. I think we have a viewer that has a crush on Putin-Seva now, Wildlife.
All right, Wildlife, is Wildlife out there?
No, he said he's probably sleeping from watching tennis. He said, I've never seen legs like that. He said, she is defined, calves and thighs.
Nice.
And then I think you wrote, she kind of has...
Well, yeah, let me flip to that. I still have so much to talk about. It's crazy. Don't even know where that went. I do. Okay. Carla has a lot in common with a couple of women tennis players.
Okay.
Carla has a lot in common. Carla has a lot in common with Putin-Seva. Carla has a lot in common with Sybil Kova. Carla has a lot in common with Sabine Lisicki. Carla has a lot in common with Angelique Kerber for the same reason that they're built the same way, okay? Yesterday on the show, we talked about the women's physique has gone from, for the most part, slender and agile to thick and powerful, okay? Now, Putin-Seva lost last night to Svitolina. Great job for Svitolina to start out down a little bit and then to win 6-0 in the second set.
Yeah, annihilated her.
Now, Svitolina early on, if you go back and watch this match, and I was writing this, I watched the entire match. Svitolina to start out was playing very deep in the court. She was returning 3 feet behind the baseline. She was hitting her rally shots from 3 feet behind the baseline. And potty mouth Putin-Seva was inside the baseline. The thing I was writing here is, and I put it right here, Svitolina hitting too deep in the court early. Will she correct? She corrected it. She corrected it. She moved into the court. She changed the dynamics of the match by stepping two feet into the court, returning serve into the court, taking time away from Putin-Seva. And nonetheless, that adjustment made her sail through the match. I don't think Svitolina has a chance to win this tournament.
Someone asked that. Well, Jack Nolte said, will she win a slam?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Because if you have to wait, let me put this way.
Well, she's got Brady or Beckett, Pagula's next.
Well, I get that. Okay, but here's the problem here. Putin-Seva is a fine player. She's in the top 30 in the world. Svitolina's in the top 10. If you're in the top 10 in the world and it takes you a couple of games to adjust to someone that's pushing you back into the court, you should have known that prior to the match. You should have started out that way and you probably would have won 0-0. So I find a little bit of a lackadaisical approach to studying this match.
She's a very consistent player. Have you noticed Lavina's always been a very consistent player, almost like Wozniacki, always making it into the second week. We're always wondering, can she win a slam? You're Justin getting up again.
No, I'm making sure this is still going.
Can she win a slam? She deserves to win a slam. Just like Pliskova, who went out, who will never, and I repeat, never win a slam like you said she would.
Well, that's a bad look. Okay, let's squash the match and go to the Pliskova one. But just a few parting words on the Putin-Saba Svitolina match.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to come back to this, but there were service breaks left and right in the first set. A lot of service breaks. We're going to come back to that in the Pliskova match. Don't forget that Putin-Saba was the one that was filming a mouse in her hotel room during the quarantine period. She was filming a mouse in one room. She pissed the hotel off. She moved to another room, and the damn mouse.
They were after her legs.
The mouse followed her to the hotel room.
They were after her legs.
Must have been a dude mouse.
Yeah.
What must have been Tom and Jerry? It must have been was the mouse? Jerry was the mouse.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Svitolina again will have a lot to deal with moving forward. Pagula, by the way, which we'll talk about, I think is probably going to beat Svitolina.
You think so?
Pagula looks good. We'll talk about her. Mm-hmm. Anyway, by the way, we spoke yesterday, Carla. You have a picture about this, the betting odds, so find that. Yesterday, Carla and I brought up on the show that we have never seen tennis coverage so inundated with sports betting. Okay, I like to bet. I have a hard time recommending betting because it can be very harmful. People can bet away their house and homes. I like friendly bets or small monetary bets, whatever. But this year in tennis, we have seen almost every tennis match, almost every game be interrupted for the latest betting odds. So we captured this in a picture last night. Carla, can you show that picture?
Yes, definitely.
And let them sit there for a minute. I'll explain the odds. Can they see it?
Mm-hmm.
And what were the odds on that? What does
It
say?
says Jessica Pagula, minus 220, 245, Kristina Mladenovic, 190. Mladenovic.
Okay, let me explain these odds. So yesterday, Pagula was up, and it was very early on. It was a couple of games in. Pagula got hot and started to roll off some points in a row, and all of a sudden they cut to the broadcast booth here back in the U.S., which, mind you, on the Tennis Channel, none of them are there. They're just doing this from their studio somewhere. But they kept breaking to DraftKings.
They mentioned it a million times.
And mentioned it a million times. So what this means is that if you see minus 220 or whatever, that means I have to bet $220 to win 100. If I see plus 220, that means if I bet $100, I make 220. So the moral of the story here is Pagula got up, and as soon as she got up, they cut from the match ongoing to here, hey, here's the updated betting odds. And so people would call DraftKings and start placing bets, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a big deal at all, but my thought process here is they are probably doing this to make money or more money because there's no fans and no concessions. Mm-hmm. So do you agree with me that maybe betting, which is now, which in my opinion for the wrong person, betting is as hazardous to people as cigarette smoking, as drug use, as alcoholism. Look, I'll drink a beer with the best of them, but I'm not gonna go miss work and not teach lessons because of it. But some people will do that. So, do you think that this rapid intensification of advertising betting in your face is a good way or a negative way to get more money for the tournament that has no fans?
I think it's a negative way. They're selling their soul. I like what Wayne and Chia said, betting is an addiction, should not even try. Yeah, I think it's stupid to even bet. I mean.
So we talk fun betting on the show. We put some monetary bets out there, but usually it's for fun. And
I would never bet. I would never put my card or something in any type of betting site.
I personally have been a sports fan of multi-sports since I was born. And I've never seen anything like it, not in pro football, not pro baseball, not basketball, even to this very day.
It's illegal here too, Alex, in Alabama.
It's illegal in our state. You can't do it here. If I try to download DraftKings, it picks up your location, and you can't physically do it. It says it's illegal in your state. But again, when I was a boy, Virginia Slim Cigarettes was the backer of the women's tour. Okay, now they're not there. So I guess now addictive or habitual gambling is okay, but Virginia Slims is not. Go figure that out.
Yeah.
All right. Talking about the women's side, now this is an important thing, okay? I'm going to ask Carla a question and all of you a question, and I want you to try to answer this question. All right, I see you laughing. I'm getting trounced.
I know where you're going.
All right. Here's the question, and I want everyone to try to objectively answer it. It's more of a coaching question, but a lot of you are way more intelligent than both of us combined, and you prove that every day after these shows when you start the comments. And by the way, a lot of you want to get up with us outside the show. Facebook Messenger, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram chat, personal email, our own personal phone numbers. We give that out, so don't be reluctant to ask, because we'll tell you. Ask Wayne Chia in Singapore. Ask Wildlife One here. Ask B Dog.
That's true. Yeah, we all communicate.
We all
William
communicate.
Spencer said, "Never bet. It leads to an awful thing like having to dress up like an Aussie tennis player." Wink.
And she has to do that. She has to do that, and we're going to talk about that as well.
You see why you don't bet?
She will be doing that. She will definitely be doing that. Alexandrova was beaten by Barty and badly. Carla bet Cam Williams that Barty would not make the second week. She has, and with ease. So we'll have to talk with Cam Williams first and find out if he's going to do that on his show. If he doesn't, care. I know he stays so busy and does, 4 and 5 matches a day. And we talk with him a lot, but he is highly busy. So I don't know if he'll want to do it on his show or not, but we will definitely do it here.
So mad.
All right. Here's the question. All right. Yesterday, on the women's side of the draw, there were service breaks right and left. We have had breaks of serves right and left throughout, I don't know, decades and decades and decades of women's tennis. If you look back in history books, though, you didn't see Steffi Graf and all these players getting broken all the time. You didn't see Martina Navratilova getting broken all the time. Anyway, here's the question. Why is the average length of a point when serving so important? Okay? Why is the average length of a point when serving so important? I'll answer this. The higher number of balls that you hit within your service games basically indicates that your serve is not an advantage. Okay? When we get into men's tennis, you're serving, we're looking for free points off the ace. We're looking for serve +1. We're looking for the serve out wide so we can put it back out wide, have an open court, and go +2 to the open court, or +3, serve +3, serve +4. We're working strategies off of serve plus a few, right? Mm-hmm. On the women's game, the average length of point for the server yesterday was between 8 and 15 balls per point. Now, I couldn't get the science all the way down because there were so many matches. Some of my mathematics led me to around 8 to 9, but the gist of them led me to more like 14 or 15. So here's the deal. Pliskova, for instance, yesterday was playing Muhova. By the way, Pliskova and Muhova are both from the Czech Republic. If you all didn't know, Muhova and Pliskova are actually good friends, and they trained together, or at least trained last year together. During the quarantine,
they trained together. Yeah.
Now, yesterday, Pliskova was up 5-0 in the second set and lost that set. 5-0 up and lost the set. I must say, that has happened to me before. I think that's happened to me playing you. I think I've had you up 5-0 and you came back and won 7-5 or 7-6, right?
Yes, it happens a lot.
That happens. Mm-hmm. If we are serving and we are averaging between 8 and 15 balls per rally, that means your serve has no dictating abilities in the point, okay? If you're placing your serve in the spot you want to get it in, then you're on offense and you control the point. But if there's 15 balls and you're serving on an average, that means there are neutral balls in that 15. Serve here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your serve is no advantage. And therefore, because of that, there's going to be a lot of breaks. Mm-hmm. Holy cow. I have never seen more breaks in women's tennis than I have in the past couple of years, but especially yesterday.
Yeah, I like some of your comments. Alex said Brady won like an 18-minute game yesterday.
Yeah, crazy.
And then Jack Nolte said Pliskova doesn't have variety on her serve. And then Alex said she's supposed to be an ace queen.
Yeah.
Jack Nolte says Serena's serve at her best is a weapon, probably a huge reason for wins in tight matches over years.
I mean, well said, everyone. And like I said, all of these guys and gals are way better at doing what we do here than we are. We just happen to be doing this.
That Pliskova match, ridiculous. You're up 5-0. All you had to do was hold one serve.
Close the door.
Close the door. I mean, I guess they're friends and stuff. I didn't know they played in 2019 Wimbledon. Alex says Muhova, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Beat Pliskova 13-11 in the third set. I mean, there's no variety in Pliskova's game. I think I even wrote down what one of the viewers said. Wildlife said something about, I guess Sasha Bajin did a lot for her mental game. You know, he's like unbelievable that she would lose when she's up 5-0.
Okay, a Sasha Bajin moment for a second. And you know, I'm not
41 unforced errors she had. 41.
That's a crazy number.
Yeah.
Sasha Bajin moment for a second. The only success that I know of from Sasha Bajin is that he was a successful hitting partner of Serena Williams while Sasha Bajin was working for Patrick Mortagalo. Correct?
I think, yeah, maybe a little before, but yeah.
Anyway, Sasha Bajin has
Osaka.
moved forward and coached Osaka. Did well. I think she won a major while she was his coach, but two majors, but they had a weird breakup. Then Sasha Bajin had Yastremska, Mladenovic, and now Pliskova.
Yeah.
And all these players have seemingly not done too terribly well. Mladenovic, by the way,
Horrible. That was another horrible match, by the way.
Mladenovic at one point was top 10 in the world. And I mentioned that to Carl last night. She was like, no, you're wrong. And I'm like, I'm telling you, Mladenovic.
Can you tell by watching her game?
Mladenovic was top 10 in the world. She was a prodigy of the French system. And the French system is a good system.
Before he came into play, she was in the top 10.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So anyway, it seems like Bajin has done more harm to these players than good, but I don't know.
Layla says, has Bajin really helped any player improve?
I don't think so.
Do we credit him with Osaka's breakthrough, or does the credit belong more to her and her previous coaches?
I agree with Layla.
Yeah, he's just has. I mean, I was talking about that match. Pagula and Mladenovic Pagula completely overpowered her. She was trying to hit the ball and she would shank them, meaning that she was late in her shots, that the ball was coming back too fast at her.
Yeah.
She had no plan. She's a great doubles player. Number one.
Yeah.
Great doubles player. She should stick to doubles. The singles, I just don't see it happening for her.
Now, she mentioned doubles just then, and I'll just spend a brief second here. As I've gotten older, I have more respect for doubles as a player. I've always been a singles player, but as I've gotten older, I've gotten really into doubles, and therefore I've been able to get more into doubles in terms of watching it on TV, you know. Anyway, long story short is that Coco Gauff and Katie McNally are a really good doubles pair.
Yeah.
They beat Bethany Maddox Sands, and who was Maddox Sands' opponent? I forgot. It was a Canadian girl. I forget who, and I should have written that. That's
I'll tell you
stupid
right
of me.
I'll tell you right now.
But Coco Gauff and Kate McNally won decisively yesterday against the 6 seeds in doubles. And Bethany Maddox Sands, a lot of people are like, you know, who is that? Bethany Maddox Sands has won multiple. Who is it? Dabrowski.
Yeah.
Bethany Maddox Sands has won multiple majors with her American partner that's actually Russian descent. Who is that? Who was Bethany Maddox Sands' partner? No, it's not Sevetsova.
She retired. It was
Bethany Maddox Sands' doubles partner for multiple majors was she was Russian but born in the U.S. Safarova.
Yes.
There you go. But Coco Gauff and Kate McNally destroyed them yesterday, which led a lot of people to bring up something like this: the Bob and Mike Bryan brothers reincarnated as Coco Gauff and Kate McNally. When you destroy Maddox Sands and Dabrowski to 6 seeds like 1-1 or 1-2, watch out. Anyway.
Safarova's Czech.
Oh, Czech. Sorry, I thought she was Russian.
But yeah, going back to Pagula, hey Tatara. Pagula is the daughter of billionaire Buffalo Bills, owner of Buffalo Bills, right?
Yeah, okay. So this is cool. So Jessica Pagula, who has dominated the competition, Azarenka, I forget who her second round match was, and then last night just destroyed Mladenovic. Jessica Pagula, she's from Buffalo, New York. She does train in South Carolina around the Hilton Head area. When I was a kid, my sister would play tournaments in that. My sister would play tournaments in that area. I would play tournaments in that area. We had a home in Virginia Beach, so it was really close to go there. This is Pagula's second consecutive third round. She made the third round at the U.S. Open. She is in shape. She is in shape.
She's in shape.
She's 26 years old, so she is coming into it late, kind of like
a lot of Americans.
Kind of like Karatsev, right? So Pagula, but I think Pagula is better than Collins right now, hence the results. So Pagula is to the women's side as Karatsev is to the men's side.
I would disagree with you. I think you're about the same.
Is that an ACT or an SAT question right there? Is that like a bar exam question?
What?
That's an analogy. Anyway, I missed you on that one.
Okay.
Pagula's father was a natural gas or is a natural gas tycoon. He's worth $4.6 billion. He owns the Buffalo Bills, an NFL franchise. If you're not a billionaire, you don't own an NFL team. Not only that, he owns the Buffalo Sabres hockey team. Pagula was given her own business by her father and to her sister. I think her and her sister, right, were given the business. So her father gave Pagula
some fast food.
A fast food business and a skincare business. Okay. By the way, if you want to buy her lip balm, a little thing of lip balm, it's $30. So if you want to buy some lip balm, you can either choose Pagula's $30 lip balm, or you can go to Dollar General and buy it for like 94 cents. Up to you. But if you're 26 years old, you have a business handed to you, your father is a quasi-billionaire that owns 2 teams, and he gave you a business to run forever, you don't ever have to worry about anything monetarily. Why do you play the game,
Because
Carla?
you love it.
Because you're hungry.
Well, Matt Cain said, do you think Pagula's coach has something to do with it? He used to be Venus' coach.
I do.
Yeah.
That's my next statement. Matt Cain, great comment right there. Her coach is a wonderful coach. You'll never hear anything bad about this coach, and if you do, it's biased.
But Venus broke up with him, not even in person. Like, she sent him a text.
You know,
I thought was
stuff
messed
happens.
up.
You know, girlfriends and boyfriends can date for 5 years and they break up by text. Look, I had a problem in my life where I was engaged to someone and I had to go somewhere for a while, and she broke up with me by letter. So, I mean, what's the difference, Carla?
I don't know.
It's not that big of a deal.
You would think you would have more respect for a coach that's been with you for a long, long, long time.
There's a name for this. It's called a Dear John letter. Have you ever heard of a Dear John letter?
Yes.
A Dear John letter is where someone cuts off some type of relationship by letter and not in person. Dear John letter goes back to the 1800s. Nothing new about that. Anyway, by the way, Pagula does not grunt. She doesn't squeal. It doesn't sound like she's going, taking a crap on the court. It doesn't sound like she's a moose in the wild hunting for a mate. She's pretty solid, so no grunting there, by the way. So she's hungry. Carla said it best. Why is Pagula dangerous? She's very dangerous because she's not in it for the money, because she has it. She has it. She was born into it. She's there because she's hungry, and that's what makes her dangerous.
There's a movie called Dear John, yes, with the guy from Alabama, Shatum, whatever his name is, I don't know. Let's talk about, I know you wrote about rating Yvonne.
Yeah, I have that. By the way, here is a teaser. Here's a teaser. Yvonne rather, corrections from all of you. Yvonne lost last night, which removed Carla from the fantasy team competition.
Yay.
She is out.
Yay. No more counting.
All right.
Less work for you.
Let's go. All right.
Rating looked good. She was a solid player. Love her forehand. Very fast, right? Fast racket.
And Vekic that she will face next. By the way, Carla, we all need to vote on this. We talk a lot about outfits and whether, you know, a tennis player like Thor or Khachanov or TM or handsome or not. You know, I'm just making this clear because it's not that we just talk about the girls. You know, we all talk about who outfits are ugly or this person's gained weight or whatever. But I tend to think Donna Vekic is a very beautiful girl.
I never said that she wasn't.
And you tend to laugh at me about that.
I said Vekic is in the same category as Sabalenka.
Or Svitolina?
Yeah, they're in the same category.
Don't you think Donna Vekic is more attractive in a positive way?
And her body, which Wildlife I agree is like Venus Williams, same body. He's like, there's no shape to her legs. It's just straight.
Are you going to tell me Wawrinka and Kokkinakis dated her because she was super ugly?
Wawrinka's not a good-looking dude.
But
Where do you get that?
But they're millionaire tennis players. Don't all these people?
Wawrinka could have been her grandpa.
All these people date super. All these people date super. All these people date supermodels like nothing. Are you telling me that they just date her because of the?
I never said she was ugly. You saying Slovina's ugly? You saying Sabalenka's ugly?
I think Vekic.
I put her in that quarter. What's the problem with that category?
I think Vekic is on another level of category.
As Ivanovic?
No, Ivanovic is way above all of them.
Okay.
Ivanovic is the most beautiful tennis player ever, in my opinion.
That's what, like Sabatini.
Kornikovas
Kornikova's in that list, even though you don't think so.
I don't care for Kornikova.
You're blind, man. I don't know.
All right.
But what does this have to do with? By the way, Brady's outfit, he said, was one of the worst outfits he's ever seen.
For some,
Like, okay. okay?
Look, for some reason, every time you see Brady, and look, a lot of you laughed at me when I started talking about Brady 2 years ago, saying that Brady would make a final of a major, and she made the final of what, the French
Nobody
Open?
laughed at you. You said the bet was she didn't make the French final, Justin. Where'd you get that in your
What
head?
final? She made a
She was making the
semifinal.
US
Open. US Open
He
semifinal.
said that Brady would make another final. Disagree. She will not make this final here.
Okay, let's look at the entire.
Oh my gosh.
Let's look at the entire women's side of this half of the draw. Now, don't forget this. That Barty's over there, that's the big one.
Oh.
Rogers, Mertens, Muchova, Vekic, Brady herself, Pagula, and Svitolina. I think she's the second best player in that group. I think Barty's the best player in the group, but I think out of everyone else, I think Brady right now is number 2.
You tell, okay. That she's not going to make a final. If Barty's playing the way she is, she's not going to make that final. LS Fire asks, do you think that male tennis players date women tennis players also because they meet them and they're available because they go to the same tournaments?
Yes.
Absolutely. It's
Convenience.
easy. It's easier to date somebody too that understands what you're going through. So I can see why a lot of tennis players go out.
Convenience.
Now the whole thing with Nick Kyrgios, Buggy and Wawrinka, I think it's kind of dumb because they all date each other. It's like actors and actresses. They all date each other. They're all mingling. You know, it's a melting pot.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways.
All right, a couple last things, and then I'll get to the tennis racket.
Wait, did you talk about how grunting? Brady's delayed.
Okay.
Grunting?
Thank you. I'm sorry, Carla. I got my notes mixed up here, and I kind of got lost in it. Okay. Yes. Brady cannot escape our grief that we give players for grunting.
No, she can't.
Brady has what we call a borderline hindrance grunt or a delayed grunt. So let me explain that. We hit the ball long gone, crosses the net, and is about to bounce or is bouncing on the opponent's side, and then you get it. Player running across, bouncing. It almost seems like a premeditated grunt.
Hers wasn't like that though. It was like she would hit.
Yeah, she hit the ball. Brady would be running after a ball that Juvan hit. Brady would run after it, hit the ball. It would have cleared the net, gone into her cross court, and you would hear it. Meh. Sound like a damn sheep.
No!
The hell was it then? It was some delayed horse garbage. What was it, Carla? Sound like a damn sheep.
It was
Get some. Shoot. I tell you what though, seriously, the umpire should call a hindrance. Now, if you look at the rule book of tennis, especially in doubles, when is verbal vernacular?
the opponent's hitting her shot, and now the grunt happened. And I'm like, what?
All right,
what is this?
let's look at the ITF, the USTA friended court rule book. When is vernacular or noise a hindrance? Okay, if you look at a tennis ball, it rolls across the court. Doesn't matter if you just won the point over, restart the point. Right? There's zero tolerance for it.
Oh man, I even wrote down like. Go ahead.
So in tennis, if the ball is approaching you or you have just struck the ball, you can make noise because it doesn't interfere with your shot. You're the one hitting it. So if I want to see the ball that's coming towards me, I'm going to go, "You piece of crap ball! I'm going to knock the hell out of you." It's okay. And then when I hit the ball, I can go, "Yes, get some of that." It's no problem. But when the ball crosses the net of your opponent and you make noise, your noise is a hindrance to them. Okay, it happens a lot in doubles. You know, someone's like switch right before the ball gets to them, and it's a hindrance. Pagula's grunt should be a hindrance. She hits
Pagula
or
Brady. You don't even know which one.
Whatever.
You just said Pagula did not grunt.
I got it confused. My bad.
So
Brady hits the ball. It crosses the net. Once the ball crosses the net and you make noise, if you are the player, it's a hindrance to them. Anyway.
But look, even Kontavi and Rogers did the same thing. I wrote down there, aye, and the other one was, aye, I'm like, what am I watching? It's horrible, babe. They say your grunts are the best, by the way.
Okay, Carla, I want you to show them a picture of something, and we're getting close to the end. But Carla, yesterday we were watching the Tennis Channel and ESPN, and we were getting multiple commercials about something called the Dude Wiper. Dude, D-U-D-E wiper, W-I-P-E-R. The Dude Wiper and Dude Wipes. Carla, can you show them a picture of the Dude Wiper? I'll be right back.
Justin might need to use the dude wiper. Just kidding. There it is. Let's see if I can zoom that.
Now explain that.
There it is. They were promoting this on the tennis channel. You see the little gadget there? Oh my gosh. Huh, interesting. It has a remote control and everything. Dude, why? Man, the dude wiper.
All right.
Oh man.
Now, the thing about the Dude Wiper is I have a couple things to say about the Dude Wiper. And by the way, don't give me grief for getting up after sitting here for an hour and 20 minutes because
Who are you talking to, me?
you.
Wait a minute, I'm a girl and I don't get up.
Well, geez, most people are smart enough. We're too dumb because we use our cell phone in an unbuilt house to have some commercial they throw in there like, hey, check out what we do elsewhere, and they swap to some commercial that's genius. I just have to do it because I have no idea how to do that.
Okay.
Clear enough? All right.
No, you need to clear with them, not with me.
Well, you're the one that gives me grief, not them.
Come on, man. I'm a girl. I'm on the tennis courts all day, and he takes like a million bathroom breaks.
Okay, the Dude Wiper.
Yeah, he said. Someone said, didn't we see that on Shark Tank?
Yes. I looked this up. Who said that? Who said that?
Layla, see.
Layla, you are correct. When I looked this up, I had to make sure it wasn't like someone hacking into the tennis channel because I thought it was too laughable. So my question about the Dude Wiper is this. Number one, is this a shout out at Rafael Nadal? He picks his butt so much, do you think he needs the Dude Wiper? That's your boy, I know, but I'm just telling you the truth.
I don't know.
I mean, it's perfect. Nadal was playing last night, and we saw the commercial for the first time like 37 times. Do you think that Nadal needs that?
Maybe.
Think about that, Miss Carla.
I don't know how clean you can be with that.
Okay, I have never understood the concept or the contraption of bidet. Does anybody know what a bidet is? Okay. The Dude Wiper commercial is basically that. It's something that sprays water in this area, and supposedly you're clean and ready to go and take on the rest of the day. I don't know how this works. Tell me, if you have a bidet, doesn't that just make you wet and soiled even worse than you were in the first place?
Yeah.
If Nadal used this, wouldn't that just make him a nasty mess? Huh?
Yeah.
Instead of picking the butt, he would have brown butt. I don't know. Only thing I have to say is if I'm gonna buy this, if I'm gonna buy this Dude Wiper, there better be a beginner's book out there on bidets because I have no idea how to even get involved with that. And by the way, who can anyone spell the word bidet?
Someone spelled it here. If you need a bidet, they put B-I-D-E because you had a mess at the toilet, then go to the bathroom and get some good clothes. Take a shower.
Don't you gotta have paper anyway?
Take a shower.
I mean,
take a shower?
Why get wet if you gotta wipe it back off anyway?
Yeah, take a
I mean,
shower.
if you sit on the toilet and you're getting wet, you're like, damn, I gotta get in the shower. Now I'm gonna get wet on purpose? I don't get it.
How did we end up talking about the bidet?
Someone
spelled it B-I-D-E-T.
they got it. Who did that?
Because we saw it on Tennis Channel.
Yeah, we were watching the Tennis Channel last night, and like every other commercial, which was often because they kept going over to the DraftKings stuff. So they'd be in the middle of a game. They'd switch over. Hey, by the way, if you want to bet on this match right now, you can call in and bet right now because the odds just changed. And then it would follow up with a Dude Wiper commercial. And then oddly enough, Nadal was about to play. So we thought it was kind of funny.
What's the other thing we saw? The trick.
Oh, the trick shots. So you would get tennis channel coverage last night or ESPN coverage, and they would continuously break the matches. I guess because there's no fans. Usually the cameras focus on like a pretty girl in the stands or someone flipping the birds in a doll, something like that. But because there's no fans there, they keep flipping to commercials, and you'll get DraftKings, the betting. You will get the ass wiper or the Dude Wiper, and then you'll get this trick shot thing. So now we get gambling, bidets, and trick shots. There was a guy last night saying, "Hey, if you want to join
if you want to surprise your opponent,
if you want to join my channel," and this was not YouTube, this was like $49.95, like as part of the Tennis Channel or something. I'll teach you a new trick shot every 2 months.
No, he wasn't charging. He does the tip trick
But you're subscribed to the tennis channel, so you're
of the
charging.
day-
You're
of the
paying for the
day.
damn
And it
tennis
was,
channel.
yeah, it was called a sushi roll.
And he was like, next time you're serving, get up to the line, and then serve, and then approach the net, and then when your opponent gives you that really hard backhand volley, spin around backwards, turn your back to the court, look at the baseline, and give him a behind-the-back volley.
You turn around. and
Good luck with that.
Sushi roll.
Yeah, and then we got another one that was like, hey, when you're serving and you really want to surprise your opponent, throw the ball up, but don't. Let the ball drop and reach your hand around the back of your neck and swat it over there. I thought it was funny. I wonder how many times they had to do the commercial take until he finally made the shot. Like 3,000?
Probably.
And then they said, okay, this is so easy. Now go learn it. Whatever.
So Hitchhiker says the image is so distorted, the edge is stretched out. Is anyone else having the same issue as Hitchhiker? Because I'm looking at it through my phone and it's fine, so I don't know.
And again,
The image is not distorted on my phone, so.
and again, much love, Hitchhiker.
Jack Nolte said no. I
yeah,
think it's
and-
somebody. I think it's your connection.
Well, and also too, let's be transparent about that. This is the first time we've been back in our.
But these guys are saying no.
Oh.
It might be him.
He may have some truth there, though. This is the first time we've been back in our house in 4.5 months. The echoes involved. We're in a bright room. We have a lesser than advantageous
Winner
internet
says
connection.
looks great to my end. Layla says looks fine on my MacBook. All good for me. So it might be just his.
All right, women's fourth round matches. Barty playing Rogers. Who you got?
I hope Rogers beats her.
Mertens playing Muhova. Who you got?
Not sure. Toss up.
Muhova, Mertens, toss up. I'm gonna hope
She
I'm gonna hope
annihilated
Muhova wins.
Benchik 2-1.
Donna Vekic and Brady.
I'll go for Brady. I think Bekic was lucky to get out of that match. We didn't talk about that with Kanepi having a match point.
Pagula and Svitolina.
Slovenia.
Huge matches tonight. Huge. Can't wait.
Well, women's, yeah.
By the way,
Osaka Muguruza. Ooh.
Layla out there, anybody out there, take notes from Wildlife One, B Dog, Sister the Queen, Wayne and Chia. If you want to communicate matches aside from here, look us up on Facebook Messenger, Instagram chat. We'll give you our personal cell numbers. I think you're international. And we can chat when this ends. No problem. We enjoy it. It helps us with the show, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, Sue Shea against Vondrousova. Who you got?
Vondrousova should win that match.
Me too. Muguruza against Osaka. Can't wait. Who you
That'll
got?
be a 3-setter, but I think Osaka will pull through.
Be careful there. Both of them have won majors. This is a fourth round match. Should be a semifinal. Sabalenka against Serena Williams.
Serena.
I'm going to take Sabalenka there for an outright 3-set win. Serena might get the first set, but I don't think she'll be able to keep up with that heavy hitting for 3 sets. Swiatek and Halep.
Schwartek.
Tough one. I'm going to go with Halep there, the veteran. That's what I can do. The women's side is very, 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 very much deeper than the men's side, in my opinion. You know, a lot of these men, you know, the men's players, the Karetsevs and the McDonalds and so forth, you know, how could you even imagine them being there? But the women's side, you can imagine them being there.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
that's the difference. The men's side is shallower than the women's side, but still some people somehow say the men's side is more exciting this year and last year. It just has not been.
Yeah, so Tara, I'm looking. You said you messaged me on Twitter, and I'm looking, and I don't. One message request. I
Yeah,
never
yeah.
saw that. Hi, Carla. Looks like okay, so I'll accept. That's why I never saw it. Now you can message me in the future. Sorry about that.
All right, going to do a tennis racket giveaway and fantasy team update. All right.
I'm freezing.
So a lot of you do not play. Don't worry about it. I recommend that you do play moving forward because we're going to have even more on the table for Roland Garros. So it would be foolish not to subscribe and at least take a guess at your finalists and winners for tennis rackets or the equal amount of cash. If you don't want to study it like a lot of these people, just pencil whip something. You still have a chance as long as you're subscribed. All right, so the fantasy team update. Carla lost Yvonne and is out of competition. You're done. She's out.
Yay!
Myself, I'm at 52 points. I have 6 players left. And I have a lot of the same players as the leaders, so I'm not too far out from out of contention. I'm close to the top of the leaderboard, but a lot of people have more players and different players than I have. So even though I'm up there in points, I don't have much time left. Jose P has 58 points, 8 players left. He's near the top of the leaderboard. Curling tennis. still right now is holding down first place. He has a couple people, though, that I think are going to overtake him. But curling tennis with 63 points and 7 players left. Great job. He's been in the lead since early on, but some of these 2-point players, as these rounds continue, are starting to catch up with curling
You're
tennis.
not throwing anybody on the floor today?
I am. I'm throwing a couple.
Because William Spencer said, hello, Flora. Been expecting to meet you for some time.
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Mhm.
Aiden Barry has 49 points and 8 left. Unfortunately for Aiden Barry, Aiden chose 2 people on the same side of the draw for the tennis racket, and someone realized that yesterday and told us, and unfortunately he or she was removed from that. But Aiden Barry is still alive at 49 points and 8 players left on the fantasy team. Hitchhiker out there, hopefully your screen has fixed a little bit. But Hitchhiker finished the 3rd round with 44 points. Okay. However, he has the same players left of multiple leaders that are well above him in points. What does that mean? He's out.
You're out.
Okay.
You just got your answer.
So Hitchhiker is out. Now, I do keep the players that I remove, I keep their scores, because if they have the same predictions for the tennis racket or the sum of cash, then I have to have a tiebreaker, and the tiebreaker is the fantasy teams. Now, there are 2 players that have the same predictions, and I'm keeping them, but I still have Hitchhikers as well. But Hitchhiker has been removed from competition.
What about Team Groves?
Okay, Millennium 13 Constantine. Millennium 13 Constantine has 45 points, 9 players left, and one of them being Karetsev. Late surge. So Millennium 13, watch out. If Karetsev stays in, he can really jump up on that leaderboard, but right now isn't quite at the top. Looney Vids, 60 points, 10 players left, has Karetsev and Rogers. Watch out. So curling tennis was ahead by a long shot. Looney Vids was way down on the list, but with Karetsev winning and Rogers winning, he has came up to 60 points and has 10 players left. Right now, even though he's not in first, I think he has a really good chance to win it. Dusan Dramakanine, 51 points, 7 players left, and has Karetsev as well. Watch out for him.
Oh, that's a good picture with a butterfly.
Oh,
Nadal
someone
has
else
one
got a
too.
butterfly.
Yeah. see?
Osaka and Nadal got butterflies.
He's a man.
Is that your winners?
Mhm.
Are the butterflies forecasting the winners? Osaka is going to beat Djokovic, and Nadal is going to beat Djokovic, and Osaka will beat whomever. Okay, Team Groves. Team Groves has 44 points and 8 players left. Okay, Team Groves, however, can't win. Why can't he win? Because he has the same players as some other players on the leaderboard. So Team Groves, I'm going to keep your score and so forth. But I don't see a mathematical possibility of you winning because who you have left, the other players ahead of you have and more. Number 11, JMP 1966. JMP 1966 has 48 points and 8 players left. And he has the same tennis racket giveaway team as Furzy09. William Spencer has 44 points, 8 players left. However, all of those players except one are only worth 1 point apiece. So if he had 1 or 2 players that won the entire tournament, he still wouldn't get enough points to overtake the leaderboard. So William Spencer has been removed from competition. Stefanizovic has 54 points and 6 players left and has a chance on the outside looking in. He has a couple players that other people don't have, so it'll depend on those players. So he's here at 54 points and still has a chance. Furzy09, 49 points, and every one of his players are worth 1 point. It would be very tough, but it's mathematically possible. And I'm going to continue to keep his score because he has the same tennis racket giveaway picks as Furzy09 and JMP 66, which are Halep defeating Barty and Djokovic beating Nadal. I don't think Halep's going to beat Barty, by the way. I just don't. People left for the tennis racket giveaway or the equivalent amount of cash up to $100. Yes, some rackets are $200, but we get a lot of rackets wholesale because we're coaches and so forth. Anyway, people still left in the tennis racket giveaway. Furzy09, JMP 1966. They have the same picks. If one of you two win, fantasy team tiebreaker. Stefanizovic, William Spencer, Sergin Jovanovic, Team Groves, and curling tennis. Everyone's still in. That's the big one. Again, if you win the top 2 places in fantasy team, the 2 winners, strings, attire, hats, 5K tennis shirts, the equivalent amount of cash, whatever, we'll get it right to you.
Tatar said there will be a headline on front page, end of big 3.
Yeah.
And then William Chia says, as long as Nadal Djokovic does not win this Aussie, people will talk about the end of big 3.
Yeah. And look,
I mean, it's bound to happen.
okay.
I don't think it'll happen, but it's bound to happen.
Here's a parting question. If you had to bet money you couldn't afford on, okay, do you think Nadal or Djokovic wins this Australian Open, or do you think someone like Rublev, Medvedev, or Thiem will do it?
I picked Tsitsipas, so we'll
Or
see.
Tsitsipas?
Yeah, I picked Tsitsipas. We'll see.
I still think Djokovic or Nadal gets it done. I don't think it's the big 3 anymore. I think now it's what's left of the big 2.
That's what Ian said, big 2.
Roger Federer's done. Andy Murray's done. So, the big 4, the big 3. Now, it used to be big 5 and 6. Don't forget, there used to be Del Potro, Wawrinka, Murray, and then the other 3. So, we've gone from like the big 6 or 5.5 down.
Well, they
to
are
2.
getting older. Retirement is always around the corner. So
Yeah.
Zverev will win. Come on, Gene. Okay, you were joking. Okay.
Now, look, don't laugh at him, or don't let him laugh at you if that doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Carla is supposed to be dressing up like Ashley Barty on the next show. We'll wait until we talk with Cam Williams and figure out how he wants to do that, because after all, it was his bet with her. So we'll communicate with him and figure that out. Hopefully we can watch his stuff tonight, because it's always great fun. All right, everyone, much love. See you tomorrow. And the matches tonight are going to be much better, in my opinion, than last night.
Yay!
All right, let's go, guys. Take care.
Adios.
Subscribe, like. See ya.